Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
All of us resonated with, then we would develop that. But it was just
Mhm.
coming from a place of tabula rasa. We didn't want to sound like anything on the radio, and we didn't want to be
Mhm.
like any other band. We wanted to be us. We were looking for self expression purely, and it was always a multimedia idea.
And in addition to sounding different than anything of the era, is the content of like intellectually what you were trying to express. Like, did you
Right.
feel that that also like that wasn't on the radio? That wasn't in any of this sort of counterculture or popular culture. This kind of dark sarcasm, the sarcastic warning that you were talking about earlier. Did you feel that that was lacking from the popular culture of the day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we were surrounded by stuff like, Tony Orlando and Dawn, I mean, that's what was going on. Either that or like Foghat or, some stadium acts with the, terrible music, and with platform shoes and skin tight pants and,
Yeah,
hair
I heard.
bands.
Yeah, I was listening to you on another interview where you described an early gig where you had to open for a hair metal band called
Yeah.
Clown,
Yeah.
Clown.
Yeah.
and then of course the irony that you later would be Devo later would be thought of by some as clowns.
Yes, hopefully evil clowns.
So you're generating all this material and you're feeling like you're in this bubble, as you just said, like refugees, and it seems like a big feature of early Devo interacting with the public playing shows is this like confrontation. That
Totally.
these shows themselves are confrontational. I'd love to hear you speak about that energy and what it was like interacting with, I guess today we'd call them normies.
Yeah,
But also maybe if you could describe, just because it's a great story, the Halloween '75 show, the
yeah.
opening
That
for Sun Ra.
that was a high point. That's where I was always honing my skills as you know this undercover guy. I would pretend to be the band's manager. Uh,
Hmm.
I, I I lied to get that gig. I said we were a cover band,
Yeah.
and and this guy in Cleveland, Bill Cavanaugh, who had a recording studio, he helped us. He helped us with that, that lie. And so here we are at the big annual Halloween party for, you know, Cleveland's top FM station. So these people are insiders that think they are very hip and very cool, and they have, it's a costume party. So all
Hmm.
these kind of, radio jocks and their privileged friends are all dressed in full Halloween costume, all the cliches, Frankenstein, the werewolf, you know, and of course
It
the
was a
girls are
monster.
all
It was a monster mash.
monster mash. The girls are always, what they went right for was they dressed like prostitutes, right? So, so you got monsters and prostitutes, and they're all doing nitrous oxide. They're going upstairs in this hall that they rented where the offices are, and all the cool people are doing nitrous oxide. And so we're opening for Sun Ra, and we come out in our original. We had these blue fireman work outfits that were uh, jumpsuits with clear plastic masks and blue plastic hard hats, and they just see that right away, and they're like, "What the fuck?" You know, this this is
Hey, it's a costume party, man.
this is not cool. Yeah, it's a costume, and
We
and
wanted Dracula. We wanted Dracula and the Mummy. Get these construction workers out of here.
and I think we opened with like "My Woman Subhuman,"
Mhm.
and it's just this bizarre. It's like on the par with Captain Beefheart, his early stuff,
Mhm.
and they're staring and they're in shock and they're frozen at first. They don't even know what to do. And then I go, "Here's one by Bad Company," and then we do "Be Stiff," and keep naming these bands. And so they're getting really pissed off. So we go right to Jocko Homo, and that did it. Jocko Homo is the A bomb, and
Mhm.
and so Mark starts, coming down off the stage with the microphone going, "Are we not men?" And they, this one guy dressed like Frankenstein just grabs him and goes, "You guys are fucking assholes."
You're not even a bunch of assholes. Are we not men? We are evil. Is he not a man?
He yells into the mic and rips it out of Mark's hand, And then Mark jumps back on stage and grabs another mic and keeps it up. And they start throwing, beer bottles at us and charging the stage. And we had to leave. Our roadies tried to run interference for us. And so the set was over in about 20 minutes with, physical threats. So we went out the back way and we went to our van and we changed back into our street clothes and we went over to Captain Frank's, this terrible seafood place on the water there at Lake Erie. It was featured in Stranger Than Paradise.
Okay.
The
Oh, the
famous
Jim Jarmusch movie?
Jim Jarmusch movie where they walk out onto the pier at Captain Frank's and they stare at a frozen Lake Erie for a while and they're just staring around at it and then they kind of nod and go okay and they get back in the car and leave. And everything at Captain Frank's is just deep fried,
Yeah, sure.
But of course we're all pumped up that we got this reaction because what we were doing was performance art. There wasn't a terminology for it like that. Nobody had labeled it that. But that's what we did.
That was going to be my
No.
follow-up question. Did you consider that a good show at that time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, we were all pumped up and, doing our version of high-fiving each other and, talking about it and recounting it instantly, and because we thought, this is great, because we hated them as much as they hated us. We thought if we can get those kind of people to do that, we should do more of this. We should do it more.
So yeah, just speaking on that thing you were saying that you had to do some light subterfuge. A lot of again, this early history of Devo seems like infused with you doing a lot of for lack of a better word, lying. Posing as a manager, sending fake letters of introduction.
Yeah.
As you actually secured record deals and started making music, did you have a sense that like your success was kind of a bit of a scam that you were perpetrating on the pop culture that you like to satirize?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a choice. That's what you had to do. It was either that or nothing. And what we were doing, if we were fooling anybody, it was for a good purpose. We didn't have a malign motive to do it. We thought that the Devo voice was necessary in the marketplace.
Actually, speaking of the marketplace, I was curious. I mean, one of the things that like I've kind of sort of always associated with the Devo style is this kind of aping and anticipation of like the aggression of advertising slogans and marketing speak.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, so like intellectually, like were you like how did you guys respond to like the changing in like the styles of advertising? Like I said, like in the 70s, like coming out of deindustrialization, like did you notice the sort of the like the ways advertising had basically absorbed the counterculture and was now like reflecting it back in this very kind of like slick, hyper aggressive manner?
Definitely. Individually, Mark and I and our collaborator in film, Chuck Statler, and my poet friend, Bob Lewis, that I started all the theories with, we were very observant of what the hell was going on. And we would monitor everything going on television and in print, like critics, like students. And we would analyze what they were doing and go, oh, we can use these techniques, the same techniques they're using. We can subvert this. This is the effective way to go, because the old school, rebellion is obsolete. What you have to do is go inside and use their communication techniques to put out your message. And that's exactly what we were doing on purpose. And especially with the videos, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
We were even watching the way fast food commercials were cut on television.
Yes.
Really. And I started cutting the video.
I mean, I just like in terms of your music. I mean, like the best example of this in my head is your guys' cover of "Satisfaction."
Yeah.
And I gotta credit our good friend and co-host Matt Chrisman, who regards it as the best cover of all time, because it just like it sounds exactly like the shift that happened in the culture, where you take a song that's originally about like sexual satisfaction via advertising and marketing, but it sounds sort of like liberatory in its energy. And then your guys' cover of it, you turn it into this like robotic dirge. It like
Yeah.
just like it sounds
Yeah.
like what advertising did to like the hope of the like counterculture of the 60s and 70s. It's just baby, 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 baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Jagger was talking about that he couldn't get no satisfaction, but the song was very blues, satisfying, and
It sounds like a man who has gotten
deconstruction wasn't a thing yet being talked about in the art world, but that's exactly what that version is. If you needed an example of deconstruction, it would be Devo's Satisfaction. And you can look, you can hear the parts, and put it back together and see how it's deconstructed.
Just following on this line of monitoring this switch, this the evolution of advertising. The early parts of Devo is very like satirical of celebrity culture, and I'm even thinking about the cover of Are We Not Men, where you make this kind of amalgamation of all these I believe like golfers or something into
Well,
a version of like a perfect man who ends up looking horrifying.
yeah, 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 a mutant,
Yeah, exactly.
recombinant DNA mutant. And
Yeah, exactly.
it was a combination of Chichi Rodriguez, the famous golfer, and
Yes.
3 American presidents.
Okay.
Do you remember which ones?
Yeah, Jimmy Carter, LBJ,
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy.
Sounds about right.
So
Yeah.
we were having fun. What can I say?
Yeah.
Because that was behind it all. Is just
Yeah.
creative fun.
But so then by by the time Whip It breaks in the, early 80s, then you guys find yourself in the position of being kind of actual celebrities yourselves.
Yeah.
And I was just, wondering like how that affected how you then approached the material and, the stage show and how you would, you would fully become inside the machine at that point and how that kind of affected your perspective of how you were doing the project of Devo.
Well, that's when you're really tested. That's when you
Mhm.
really find out who you are. And, I mean, since for me, at least I can, only talk for me, since it was all from the beginning, very thought out and very conscious what the goal was, what we were
Mhm.
trying to do, which was like any artist, be really good at what you wanted to say, right?